store raw and ready to eat or cooked food separately. Never store raw food above ready to eat or cooked food. This may cause the dripping from the raw food may contaminate the ready to eat or cooked food. Keep food covered all the times. Keep all the foods labeled. Rotate stock. First in, first out. New stock should be placed behind or under older stock. Store all food 15 centimeters, that is 6 inches, off the floor to facilitate cleaning and deter pests. Next is cooking. Cooking takes food from refrigeration or freezer temperatures up through the danger zone to temperatures where bacteria are killed. The internal cooking temperature to remember for all foods except whole poultry is 75 degrees Celsius. Internal cooking temperature means the temperature inside the food, not the oven, grill or oil temperature. Use a calibrated probe thermometer and insert it into the thickness part of the food away from the bones. Cook stuffing separately, but if you prefer to stuff meat, make sure that the temperature of the stuffing also reaches 75 degrees Celsius or hotter. Cooking should be done in one continuous step with no partial pre-cooking. Avoid overloading ovens, fryers, as the heat may not penetrate into the food evenly. While cooking an item with different types of meat mixed together, cook to the highest required temperature. The food premise regulation states minimum internal cooking temperature for some food, that is, for whole poultry 82 degrees Celsius, for poultry other than whole, that is pieces and grounds, is 74 degrees Celsius. For ground meat other than poultry is 71 degrees Celsius. For pork whole at 71 degrees Celsius, that is 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and for fish the minimum internal cooking temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. For convenience and simplicity, a good minimum internal cooking temperature to remember for all foods except whole poultry is 75 degrees Celsius. Next is serving. Whether the customers are served by servers or they serve themselves, steps must be taken to ensure that the food is not contaminated or temperature abused. Serving staff should not touch the business end of knives, forks, and spoons. Handle cups and glasses by the bottoms or handles, not by rims. Use gloves, tongs, or utensils to serve food. Self-service or buffet. Provide adequate spoons or tongs to reduce the temptation of the customer using their hands. Protect food with sneeze guards or other shielding in the buffet counter. Not mix the old and the new food items. Ensure proper hot and cold temperature is maintained on the buffet counter. Next is personal hygiene as a good practice. Before working in a food environment, staff should ensure that they take all the necessary steps so that they personally do not put the food at risk. They should demonstrate high standard of personal hygiene, personal cleanliness and clean uniform. Food handlers should wear light-colored clothing which will show dirt more readily, which may contain microorganisms. Light colors will also deter a food handler from wiping their hands on their clothing, an act which could cause cross-contamination. When clothing is visibly dirty, it is time to change it. The food premises regulation requires food handlers to wear clean outer garments. Regular hand washing. Hands are easily contaminated. The pores, crevices and folds in skin trap dirt and therefore microorganisms and are difficult to clean. Short nails and no nail varnish, because normal washing does not get under the nail. Nail polish should not be worn because it can chip off and get into food, and it may discourage an individual from using a nail brush to scrub. Jewelry should not be worn because it can trap dirt, fall off, and get caught on an equipment. Always cover cuts and burns. Hair should be kept covered and tidy. Headgear such as hairnet or hat must be worn by all food handlers. The food premises regulation says that food handlers must wear headgear that confines the hair. Avoid excessive use of perfume, deodorants, aftershave and makeup. Gloves for ready-to-eat food. Remember, disposable gloves can become contaminated just like bare hands. Therefore, gloves must be changed regularly and after each action, or else these may cause contamination. Unhygienic practices. Some people have personal habits which may be acceptable in their own home, but not while preparing food for other people. When working in a food area, you must avoid smoking, chewing, spitting, coughing, sneezing. Tasting food with your finger. When tasting food, do it in such a way that microbes are not transferred from your mouth to the food. Include using a disposable spoon and throwing it out immediately. Handling food after touching your nose, skin, face and head. Opening bags by blowing on them. Not washing hands after using toilet. Hand washing after urinating or defecating is very important. You may be unaware that your hands are contaminated as toilet paper is not an effective barrier and microorganisms can pass through it. A large portion of foodborne illness is spread through the fecal-oral route. This means that the organisms are found in the feces and if spread to food and eaten, they can cause illness. Fecal spread of microorganisms can result in large outbreak of foodborne illness. Hand washing techniques. 6 steps. Hand washing is the single most important way to prevent the spread of diseases. Proper hand washing prevents the spread of microorganisms from one food to another, that is cross-contamination, and from your body to the food. The proper way of hand washing is: wet your hands with warm running water. Add liquid soap. Do not use bar soap. Rub your hands together to make a soapy lather. Do this away from the running water for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Being careful, Now to wash away the lather, rub your hands together, the fronts and the back of your hands as well as thumbs between your fingers and under your nails. Rinse your hands under warm running water. Dry your hands with a clean paper towel. Turn off the tap with the paper towel. This is a place where most of them make mistakes. That is, people throw the paper towel in the bin and close the tap with bare hands. The tap should be closed with using the paper towel.